Simulation Theory by Jonathan Lippe, Chapter 6, Creative Ideas You Can Use. Crunch all you want, we'll make more. Jay Leno, when he was known as the Dorito Guy. Creative ideas you can use. I don't have the time nor the know-how to get these ideas off the ground. If anybody likes these ideas, feel free to use them. I won't sue you. Maybe just invite me to hang out on the set during the shooting if it's a film, or give me a free item if it's good. TV show ideas. Make the world better. Now, this is a show where people submit their ideas on how to make the world better. Dreams. A show about the dreams that people have. People can write into the show about their dream, and the best ones get turned into like a TV show about the dream where it visually comes to life. The people who write in can be in the video narrating it. There can also be a section of the show called Dream Interpretation, where some fake dream expert analyzes people's dreams for them. I think the show would be an excellent reality TV-ish type program because it allows the voyeuristic viewers a chance to look into someone's subconscious. Solving the world's problems. A show where Americans sound off on what they think the rest of the world should do, like they know what is best for everyone. Holy Wars. A TV show where different religious sects can tell each other how right they are and how wrong the others are. Tall Tales. A show about conspiracy theories brought to visual life. The show content can come directly from the archives of Coast to Coast AM. Make Fun of Rappers. A show where rappers have to try to do things they should know how to do, like play an instrument. People in the audience can ask questions about what was meant by the lyrics of their songs and read them way out of context. And then at the end of the show, the rapper gets to diss a member of the crowd, and the member shakes his hand happily afterwards saying, "Ha, you dissed me really good." Movie contest show. There's two ways to do this show. One, people contribute ideas to what would make a cool movie, and then it gets voted on, like American Idol. And in the end, the winning idea becomes a movie. The other idea is you take an idea for a movie, and everyone submits their ideas on what would make the movie cool, and then the movie gets made with everyone's input. A cartoon about aliens abducting humans. The aliens are two goof-ups who keep screwing up the aliens' intergalactic plan for world domination by botching up simple assignments. The newbie alien on his first day forgets to reset the humans' watches after an abduction, and the humans wake up with missing time. You find out that the aliens try to minimize the amount of missing time humans have, like as if their monthly bonus is based on not having missing time. The aliens' occupation is of abducting people, but their daily grind should reflect the daily grind of an outside salesman or another worker, so it seems like aliens go through the same hardships and have the same problems we do. Go there. Think about it. Consider this. A show with alternative ideas that aren't comfortable to think about, but should be questioned. For cynics. Just like the For Dummies book series, there can be a series of things explained by cynics. Understanding the tax code by cynics. Understanding how healthcare works by cynics. Understanding our government by cynics. Understanding the stock market by cynics. Off Campus, a reality TV show that visits college parties and has drunk students tell great stories of wild things that happened and a cool B-roll of the reenactment. The premise is that college students have no supervision and all the time in the world to burn. What kind of crazy things can they get themselves into? Your fun college memories will probably be of the things you did off campus. Video game ideas. Hamster football. I had a dream of hamsters playing football in a video game. It was funny. It looked fun and simple to play. Space Invaders football. I had a dream that was a mix between Space Invaders and football. If that sounds fun to you, develop the game. Fight the Power video game. A game where you fight the power, whichever power it is. If you're mad at dictators, presidents, parliaments, warlords, corporations, whatever form of control you are mad at, you can fight. The characters you play with are leftist, skateboarding, anarchists, protesters, vandalists, skinheads, feminists, suicide bombers, goths, guerrillas, punk rockers, grunge rockers, gangster rappers, gay rights activists, ACLU activists, abortion activists, religious right-wing activists, left-wing activists, protesters, yuppies, NAACP members, Black Panthers, hippies, white supremacists, cult members, monks, and more. It's a head-to-head fighting game, and then also like a side-scroller. The enemies you could fight have special abilities. You can also play as the powers that be. You gain enough combo points to activate the boot that stomps on the face of humanity. Then you push another button and your character says, "You should be thankful that you even have a job," or "Get back to work, slave," and "Cut your hair, hippie." Video game, school, sim school, school RPG, first-person shooter school, action-adventure school, life. Movie ideas. Dark Side of the Moon. A movie that takes all of the conspiracy theories of what takes place on the dark side of the moon and incorporates all of the ideas from the Pink Floyd album, Dark Side of the Moon. Here is an idea on how the first scene can start. The movie starts with a time setting in the 1960s. A Navy man is on an aircraft carrier in the middle of the ocean. He is wiping the deck when he sees a spaceship come from under the water and goes into space. He writes it down. He happened to have a film movie camera set up on the deck and captured it on film. The scene then goes to where the spaceship went. The ship's destination is the moon. It lands in a hangar on the dark side that looks like moon sand, but is actually a thick, clear liquid that gently brings the spaceship underground. The hangar has statues that look like the Easter Island heads, with purple eyes lighting up. The movie fast forwards to 1969, when the astronauts landed on the moon. Neil Armstrong says, "We have a bogey." Mission Control replies, "Affirmative, this is a known." Neil Armstrong asks, "Is it Russian?" "No." Then he asks, "Is it extraterrestrial?" They reply, "No." Then he asks, "Is it ours?" And they reply, "That's a Big 10-4. The scene pans over from where they are at on the near side and goes to the dark side where there are tractors, mines, and roads with vehicles traveling on it, and construction. You see the American flag and the Russian flag flying together on a building. The next scene shows people on Earth watching newsreels about the Cold War and how the Russians and Americans are at war with each other and are having a nuclear arms race. The camera then goes back to the moon where Russians and Americans are working to build a space global defense system to fight against future alien invaders. The Apollo 13 mission gets recreated, where the "Houston, we have a problem" has a bigger plot than what we know. The movie should also incorporate the alien stories the Nazis believed in, the soul catcher idea that John Lear talked about, the secret space forces that defend Earth, and show the moon was actually pulled into place by some group of beings. People eventually find this is going on, and then the government comes clean about the past 100 years, and then the people wish they could just go back to not knowing the truth. Karma. A movie called Karma. It should have some Buddhist theme to it, but also a contemporary theme as well. I think that is a powerful name for a movie. Maybe it could be about the Tibetans. New World Order. Take all of the greatest conspiracy theory ideas about global government and make it into a movie. Trying to Get to Cuba. A movie about a group of leftist Americans who are upset with the Bush administration and try to sneak a ride into Cuba through Costa Rica so they can experience what they believe to be the joys of communism. They buy the ticket from a local scam artist and never get there. They then search for and find the scam artist and kidnap him, which gets them into a big situation where the government and local gang are after them. The government is after them for the crime of kidnapping, and the Costa Rican Rasta gang is after them for kidnapping their guy. They can't turn to the law, and they are on the run from gangs. At this point, their only hope for survival is to get to the American embassy so they could be protected by the great United States that they were trying so hard to leave because they wanted to get away from the tyranny. Bi. An independent film called Bi. Everyone in the movie is bisexual. Males and females compete against each other to attract whichever sex. The whole movie explores the plethora of options bisexuals have. Bisexuals have all the fun. If you make it real cultural, you could win one of those awards they give to people who make movies that present things that are icky and push it on them like it's normal. It must be good. It won an award. Nina's Plates, a movie about a psychologist who interviews a girl about alien abductions and only had paper plates to write the information down on. From her abduction experiences and time spent in space, she learned a lot about science and how things work for advanced civilizations, and tells the psychologist. The girl gets kidnapped by the aliens one last time and is not returned, but the psychologist is left with the plates. The information on the plates holds the secret to unlocking how to create free energy and nuclear fusion. The government finds out the psychologist has the plates and information on how to create free energy, and so they launch a character assassination disinformation campaign, making the guy out to be a crazy guy who wrote down stories on paper plates that he claims a girl who was abducted by space aliens told him. Waiting to be Rich, a movie about a guy who inherits $5 billion, but he can't get it until he turns 55. The conflict of the movie is how he tries to be ultra careful about not getting himself killed, that his life is one disaster after another because he was so focused on just staying alive and waiting to turn 55 that he keeps jinxing himself. Because he tries to be so careful, he misses out on a bunch of great experiences. Shift of Power, a movie where the complainers and protesters of society were given the illusion of the reins of control to expose their hidden agendas and show their actions. The result is reversal of slavery. After the people find out the truth, the original people of power demonstrate that it was just an illusion, that the reins of power really were never ceded over, but was a plot to show that people protest for power, not for peace. The original people of power's power becomes twice as strong. Postmortem Illness, movie about a guy who reincarnated himself into another person and is haunted by his former self from his previous life to complete his previous life's mission, but he wants to enjoy his new life. Simulation Theory, a movie about a guy who discovers that reality is a computer simulation and how everyone else already knew it but didn't tell him. Interconnected, a movie where the main character discovers that many movies are interconnected and have hidden messages in them that have been staring at us in the face. Use real-life movies to create realistic interest and tone. He finds out that they are news reports on technology and real-life situations disguised as fiction to communicate ideas to the people who know how to look for it. Swarm, a movie about swarm theory. The military studies how creatures are able to travel in swarms, and they learn how to tap into the mental state, and then they apply that to combat. By tapping into the swarm mental frequency, it awakens the creatures of the planet to humans' intentions. Then it becomes a fight of man versus every swarming creature. Really cool swarm CGI attacks and fights ensue throughout the movie. The Know-It-Alls. Two guys get taken into space by aliens and are bestowed with knowledge of everything that there is to know. The movie shows them trying to have conversations with people and the boredom it brings them. It shows them picking up science magazines and reading about recent discoveries and just looking at each other like, yeah, okay. The journey of their discovery is meeting genuinely nice people who don't know as much as they do and learning that even without knowing everything, a person can have a good, enjoyable life. That life is about interpersonal relationships and the enjoyment of existing. The information the know-it-alls bring ruin the enjoyment the normal people have of their lives and pastimes. One movie, different versions, different theaters. A movie that has different versions of it aired in different theaters where people have to work together through the internet to piece it all together, or they can travel to other theaters to understand more of the story. Or, to confuse people, just air different versions of the movie, and when people discuss it with each other, they'll think they're not talking about the same movie. Or, a third idea would be to have a different ending of the movie air each day of the week, so people will go each day to see the movie end differently. Or, have the movie vary each time it is aired. Goods, stores, businesses. Club Da Vinci, a nightclub called Club Da Vinci with Leonardo da Vinci paintings, schematics, and cryptic Da Vinci Code type theme to it. I was going to suggest Club Illuminati, but saw there already was a club called that, or a club called Club Vatican, where the theme inside is all cool Vatican art and cathedrals and Sistine Chapel paintings. Club Cathedral would also be cool. The all-seeing eye. Either a restaurant or a nightclub or men's club or a bar with symbols and other cryptic themes. Find a way to make it popular for people to say, "So, what are you up to tonight? I think I'm going to head over to the All-Seeing Eye tonight and have a couple of beers." "Where's the banquet being held at?" "Oh, I think it's over at the All-Seeing Eye." Corporate Cafe, a restaurant with all prepaid tables that have unlimited servings that are sold to corporations for their employees to eat at. A company would pay what an average table brings in per hour, but they pay for the value of that table for the entire hours of operation and for the entire duration of the purchase. Monthly purchase, annual purchase. The benefit to the company paying for it is their employees can rotate their lunch period and eat for free as a company benefit. The restaurant benefits from having a constant source of income even if they don't have a constant source of customers. Lounge, a place for people to gather and share ideas and consume beverages, coffee or alcohol. Ambient trance music will play in the background and cool 3D graphics videos will play on the monitors. Virtual store website. Current internet web stores are like catalogs that require too much effort to search through. When you visit a store's website, it should be a 3D interactive environment as if you were walking through the store. That would be cool. You actually walk around with a virtual shopping cart and stick things in it and then stand in line and listen to other people's conversations. Touchscreen menus. Instead of speaking to an intercom in the drive-thru, how more accurate would using a touchscreen menu be? And restaurants have tables with touchscreen menus built in. The entire table is an electronic menu, and you choose what you want, and the waiters or robots bring it to you. No more messed up orders. No more needing to print new menus when it changes. Just change the update software. BNFN clothing line. By nerds for nerds. It's the nerd response to FUBU. Have all the nerdy sayings on shirts. Talk nerdy to me. All of the nerdcore stuff on cafepress.com. Glow-in-the-dark car. Instead of headlights, make the bodies of cars glow fluorescent. This would make nighttime look cooler. Actually, you need headlights to see in front of you, so just make the bodies glow neon. Thing around license plate. Instead of bumper stickers, have multiple messages travel around your license plate with those lottery type of lights. Hot dog branding. When you have a barbecue, companies or families can brand the hot dogs with their logo or family name. Alien anal probe t-shirt. Alien holding up an anal probe and it says, "Watch your ass." Spherical mirrored room. Epcot or someplace like it should create a spherical mirrored room that people can enter and feel bewildered. Would lighting a small light reflect infinitely and illuminate the entire room? Clothing lines. Capitalism clothing. Democracy clothing. The shirts all have simple 1 to 3 word sentences on them. By the people. Lies. Your ad here. Capitalism. A picture of a barcode. Democracy, propaganda, inflation, supply and demand, natural selection, my salary is a secret, slush fund, agendas, conspiracy. IPv6 identity. Through different ports, www.jonathanlippe.com could become my phone number, my website, my email, my everything. Parking lot GPS. GPS that detects where the open spots are in a parking lot. Friction roads. Roads that collect electricity from the friction cars create. Or the wheels of the tires cause some underground turbine to turn. Is there a way to turn sound into energy? Newspaper table. A breakfast table that is a giant computer screen that has the news wirelessly updated to it each day so we don't have to waste paper printing newspapers and gasoline delivering it. United States Population Growth and Management. Study proposal, year 2000. I wrote this in 2000, and my class didn't vote to make this our video project, so I'm publishing it now. This was written pre-9/11. The United States was founded and built by immigrants. However, the U.S. now stands at 275 million, and through a study of geography and natural selection's carrying capacity, we find that a close watch needs to be kept on our society if we would like to sustain the lifestyle that we enjoy. There are many factors of the environment which population growth alters, and this program will describe what future immigration influx may do to the economy, ecosystem, and other variables. Note: this program is not intended to discuss any social implications about Americans' attitudes towards immigrants. It is a scientific report on the environment and the dangers of unplanned societies. As invincible as the United States may seem, it too can fall just like the Roman Empire if we do not keep a close watch on the physical health of Mother Nature and what she can and cannot provide. Some implications aren't just a U.S. problem, but a global problem. 1. More cars, more gasoline consumption and burning, more harmful toxins into the air, more roads, more of the earth gets paved. The hotter the earth becomes, global warming, ice caps melt, Florida sinks into the Atlantic and Gulf. 2. More houses, less land to grow food, more land used for cattle raising, less land for food. More methane gas into the air from cow dung, harmful. More of human goods get used to feed cattle. More fresh water consumption, not just drinking water, but car wash, lawn watering, laundry, showers, washing dishes. More garbage, more landfills. More businesses built taking up more land. 3. Carrying capacity. Research numbers. There is a point when the planet just cannot feed more people. Stephen Hawking predicts that by 2600, humans will be shoulder to shoulder, filling the entire surface area of Earth. This land is your land. This land is my land. How can we turn people away? The Earth belongs to everyone. How can we turn people away who want the same freedoms we enjoy? Should the U.S. use imperialism on other countries to create working democracies in order to ease the burden of the immigration influx? Could nations turning their people loose to the United States in large numbers to damage our stability be looked at as acts of economic warfare, gradually depleting the natural resources and human resources of the country? 4. What can we do? Turn people away? Close borders? Humans will be mad about that. Have a quota? Well, we already have that. The greatest good for the greatest amount of people? Focus on survival instead of politics. Earth population growth statistics. Use compound growth equation to find 6 billion principal times 0.03 growth rate times 15 amount of years rate. Will we continue to ignore the problem until there is no more land on our planet? Our entire history, we've had the space to grow and move out. We've never faced something like this. We actually must devise a global code for life, a new world order, in a sense, to face our situation on Earth, or we face the possibilities of extinction. Black plague, famine, expand into vast amounts of unused land. Earth has many areas which inhabit no people at all. Must make habitats livable. Need to find a new way to convert salt water into drinking water. Colonize outer space. We're working on that. Nothing really qualifies me to discuss the majority of topics in this book. This concludes Chapter 6. Author's comments. Well, fresh on our mind is that passage we just read. That was from year 2000, pre-9/11 college. I must have been going for the home run there with the New World Order line. I'm about 20 years old writing that. I actually was pretty impressed with doing an outline. Nowadays, this is, global warming is pretty laughable at this point, and even the carrying capacity of the planet, we know that our agricultural methods overproduce. Like, there's enough food to feed everybody on the planet. There's a 5% waste, and it's politics that causes people to starve, not the ability to feed everybody. So, but it was good that I was thinking of things like this, carrying capacity, overpopulation. Those are big topics of the time period that they definitely pushed in college. Not just my college, but pretty much all around the United States. And it's good that I was thinking on these things and tried to provide some solutions. And the thing is, if a college student could figure this out, and I wasn't like Einstein, how come the politicians can't solve the problems? You know what I'm saying? It's absurd. So anyway, outside of that last part, who else do you know that just gives their ideas away? Maybe this whole chapter was just tons of great ideas. And I was like, hey, here you go. You guys could have them. And what's funny is a lot of the stuff in this chapter actually, became real, which is pretty awesome. So one of the things I didn't get to put in this chapter was the idea of having speedometers on the backs of cars. How much better could traffic flow if you could know what the person in front of you was driving, their speed? So everybody could synchronize and lock their speeds together, and all the cars could flow a lot better on the highway, and you'd have less traffic jams and whatnot. I'm never going to do this, but I really think that if a t-shirt came out and it said F-word on it, F word, I think high school kids and college kids would just eat that up and just rock a shirt that said F word. It's kind of like the 7-Up Yours thing, and that was a pretty big hit. But just say F-word. I don't want to put it out there because I don't want to be responsible of being the guy that profited off that, because that's going to degrade society a little bit. But at the same time, I'd crack up seeing shirts that said F-word on it. I know I would have worn it. And what can you say to the kid that has the shirt that says F-word? Like, take that filthy shirt off. And it's like, what? It just says F-word. I'm an idiot. I'm such a child. The dream show where people's dreams get made into visual shows that I talked about, that's a great idea. There should definitely be a show called Dreams. There's so many people that are into dreams. And, the last chapter was called Dreams. And let me point out that I am able to differentiate between the dream world and the real world. I don't have dreams and think I'm like a prophet or a psychic or something. I don't think my dreams predict the future. That chapter was just me saying, hey, these dreams are pretty cool, and I don't want to just live with them by myself. I want to share it. These are so fun to talk about. So I don't let my dreams overtake my life, but I know this dreams thing is a big topic to a lot of people, girls, guys, because they have dreams and they really let these dreams dominate their whole thought process. So definitely a show called Dreams, the way I depicted it, I think would be a hit. The Holy Wars idea is hilarious. I mean, how funny would that be to see religious people just saying how right they are and how wrong everybody else is? And you could have the referee mediator, and he goes, hey, this guy says that he's right, and he says that you're wrong. And that guy says, no way, I'm right and he's wrong. And you go to the other guy and say, hey, that guy over there says you're wrong and he's right. What do you think about that? No, he's wrong. That would be hilarious. The Tall Tales show, that essentially became Ancient Aliens. Fight the Power and all the school video games. How is there not a video game? There's not many video games about being in school. I mean, I guess because kids wouldn't want to do that, but I think you could, there's all these sitcoms about school. Why not video games about school? The Dark Side of the Moon idea for a movie became the movie Iron Sky, Nazis on the Moon. So believe me, when I saw that Iron Sky came out, I was like, man, I wonder if they read Simulation Theory. And they might have, because that movie was awesome, talking about helium-3 and all the moon theories. The New World Order idea for a movie became a documentary. It was like a mainstream documentary that had Alex Jones in it and Luke Rudkowski and others. But as far as a sci-fi film or an action film, a lot of movies are like this now. The movie Buy that I came up with that idea, wow. How has that not gotten made yet? I really thought that would have gotten made during Obama's administration. Shift of Power movie essentially became Atlas Shrugged, the John Galt speech. Well, the book Atlas Shrugged predated all this, but the movies came out after the book was published. If you haven't read Atlas Shrugged, it's one of the most powerful books ever. The John Galt speech, get your mind right. What I try to do is out-pervert society. That's where these ideas come from. Is I look at what society does and I'm like, well, how can I outdo that? How can I out-pervert it? And when I say pervert, I mean a perversion, not a pervert. You know what I'm saying? So when I see, and things like nowadays, the Buy movie, thinking that couldn't happen, but then you have Bruce Jenner in present day, and that outdid me. So now how do I outdo that? And not that that's, hey, society, but based on the current construct of socially acceptable things. That's what I do, is I take the things that are slightly a perversion and I'm like, oh, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. How nuts can we get? So yeah, that's how a lot of the ideas that are there, they're just to out pervert society. Swarm would be a badass film, the way it was depicted. It's kind of like the perversion of Predator. You know, how do you outdo Predator? Swarm would outdo it. I heard the one movie, the one that about the different movie versions of movies, I heard that already happened. The IPv6 came true in a different way. Pretty much you use your Facebook login to log into everything now, or you have the option to, or your Google Plus. So that kind of came true. The GPS parking lots became true, but in a different way. It's not GPS, it's sensors. I got to experience one in Doral at the Dolphin Mall in Florida. It tells you where to park, like what parking spots are open. If an entire lane or aisle, if an entire aisle is full, it tells you there's like a red light. It's like, hey, don't even bother driving down this aisle. It's full. That's awesome. It should have happened a long time ago. So believe it or not, this book was published before iPads existed. So that part about the newspaper table delivering the news wirelessly, it sounds like a joke now. But in 2007, I don't even know if smartphones existed yet. So, you know, as you experience this chapter, I hope you kept into context the time period, 2007. Social media, social network barely existed yet. Barely. I mean, MySpace was out. I don't think the Facebook revolution happened yet. So, you know, appreciate the chapter in that the modern things we enjoy, even really, I don't think 3G wireless existed yet either. Like having wireless built into everything, it was just Wi-Fi. I mean, there was some like 2G, 3G might have just been coming out, but everything was expensive and slow. So, I mean, and I point these out also is because, you know, this shows that I'm able to kind of spot the trends and see where things are going. And so when I say the robots should have been here already, based on what I saw in the 80s growing up, it's not outlandish for me to say that. They really should be here. A fully automated society should exist right now. But for whatever reason, and it's political and it's economic, but it's not based on limitations of technology. The technology already exists. It's been invented. It just has not been implemented. So give me props for being ahead of my time. Not that I need it, but, you know, I already consider myself ahead of my time, but I just like to hear others tell me that. Global warming, overpopulation, immigration, yeah. All right, so I was kind of off on those, but those were year 2000. That's, 16 years ago. I was just, I wasn't even a college graduate yet. So, yeah, that was this chapter, creative ideas you can use. Feel free to crunch all you want, we'll make more. I got so many ideas, I'm never going to run out of them. As long as I could dream, I'll never run out of new ideas. And these are the ones that I'll just never have time to getting around to. And since I published this, I have so many more that I'm just never going to get around to. So be on the lookout for that video. But if you have the know-how, put these together, make it happen, and just hook me up or invite me or whatever. That corporate cafe idea was pretty good. You know, you buy a table and it's unlimited use. Anyway, I'll see you next time. The next chapter is called Solving the World's Problems. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.